Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So in the past few videos, I have shared the technical flaw of Wing Chun in past 130 years. And in today's sports science, we can clearly identify that the technical flaw of Wing Chun in past 130 years is deadly. So we know that in past 130 years, Wing Chun do not develop the core stability. It doesn't develop the proper lower abs breathing. It has no understanding on the core stability handling, which involve the intra-abdominal pressure and your muscle, outside in, inside out, handling of the core stability. So it is a disaster because right now in sports science, in other martial art, which is scientific, the problem of Wing Chun is a very fundamental one. And if this flaw is not fixed, you don't have a martial arts. Now, in the past 130 years, Asia is interested in promoting everybody's lineage. And then when they see something, they're always using the reasoning of, oh, that is your lineage, your families, your teachers' interpretations. So the term interpretations become a mantra to cover up for whatever one don't know. And the same bad habit come to the West in the past 60, 70 years, using the same interpretations. I can interpret my Wing Chun whatever way I want. I can have Tai Chi Wing Chun, Hakka Wing Chun, whatever Wing Chun I like. As soon as I use the mantra, my interpretations, it has no base in the Chinese history, have no base in science. And that's why it messed up, because people is more interested in to promote their own lineage, their own Wing Chun, than to find out what it is. Now 130 years passed, you burn 130 years. When the world awake, the world know what is the truth of martial arts. Now Wing Chun face a serious problem. So this video today, I'd like to share with you those Wing Chun brothers and sisters who want to fix this once for all. You can fix it within minutes. Because today in America, we have technology. We can use technology to buy time. It's like if you have a tablet As soon as the upgrade is released, overnight, everybody in the entire world can upgrade. That is what we need to do. Or else, don't kid ourselves. There is no Wing Chun. That's why I already shared in yesterday and the day before yesterday's YouTube. It's technical stuff. You cannot play. Now, today I'd like to share with you the solutions. Once for all, this needs to be fixed. We in the West start in the United States of America. We need to change. Either Asia will follow or not. I do not discriminate on Asia, but they like to do whatever they like. That is their freedom. However, in the West, we need to change because this is a serious problem. Now, let's look into this. So what I'm going to share with you and the proposal to you is not based on me, Hendrik, my lineage. I am the God-like grandmaster. No, it is based on history, fact, and science. The agenda is education, culture. The agenda is so that Wing Chun have a chance. Now, we need to start from the beginning, really fast, before I show you the technical stuff. Because we always need to have a root on what we are talking about. This is an iPad, for example. iPad is from Apple Incorporated in Silicon Valley, in Cupertino. You can track everything on iPad because it's technology. You cannot say, this is my interpretation because my father is the CEO of Apple, then I can have my story. No, sorry, sir. When you go to technology, it doesn't matter who is your father, or it doesn't matter who is the CEO. You need to track that technology down, or else the entire thing collapses. So this is how serious it is. Now, in 1850, we have the document of Wing Chun, the very basic fundamental stuff. And the basic stance consists of, or in today's language, it is about body handling, which is a function of Xing Qi to Dan Tian, which means deep breathing. The body handling, which is a function of deep breathing. It is a dynamic stuff. Okay? So with this, we know that back 160 years ago in Wing Chun, the components of core stability and diaphragmatic breathing is there. And you know that diaphragmatic breathing is the foundations of core stability. That's why your basic stance is equal to body handling functions of Xing Qi to Dan Tian, which is like saying core is a functions of your deep breathing. As here I put it very clearly. Diaphragmatic breathing, the foundations of core stability. Now this is scientific. This is what everybody is based on today in martial art, in sports. 160 years ago, 1850, should be 170 years ago. At 1850, our ancestor in the red book have already have this in the design. And over here, The entire writing is about that. So I'm not going to go inside there today because it's in the previous video. Now, you need those type of foundations, the core stability and the breathing, in order to implement the short strike art. The sticking body short strike, the tip san tuyến ta. Without that, you cannot do it. Okay? Now, so it said, without proper basic stance training, the fighting uniqueness of Wing Chun, which is within the 40 centimeter distance to your opponent, which is a sticking body short strike art, is impossible. So what you see in the past 130 years, clamping knees, structure, straight spine, lifting anus, mind power, all those manipulate this joint, this degree, this angle, is not what the ancestor is teaching. It is something else. Yet the ancestor of the Wing Chun, the design is fitting very well into today's sport science. Okay, now, so over here, you have the component of the Chinese, externally train the bone, sinews, and muscle, internally train your breathing. Or sometimes people say it's your qi. What disregard of what? Okay. Over here, which is recorded, disregard of what? If you want to talk about qi, okay, qi, this is what, if you want to get into the deep of the Mei Zhuang, which is one of the mother art of the Wing Chun, you can get into the qi development. Now, disregard of what? You need to have a proper core handling and deep breathing. Just to talk about this qi stuff. Without the stable core handling and deep breathing, forget about the so-called qi internal stuff. So in one side, if you want to talk about health, meditations, qi gong, nei gong, the basic is the same. Your core stability and your deep breathing. Without that, nothing works because those are the foundations. So this is the health part, okay? Like from the Mei part, because Mei is one mother of Wing Chun, 1850. You want to talk about the Shaolin, the fighting, the short strike part? Well, this is all well defined. Your core stability, your breathing is well defined, okay? This is Shaolin Xianji monks, Dharma bodies drawing. Everything is like, here it say that the entire body has to shoot in your butt, how you're going to handle your butt, or how, you know, your butt, the gluten going to use your strength, and everything is clearly written there. Well, only that you'll be able to play here with your core stability, your breathing, your core stability, your breathing, your core stability, your breathing. So the art of Wing Chun, the short strike, the uniqueness is well defined here. From, you want to talk about the qi internal, You want to talk about the fighting part, the breathing handling, the core stability is well defined. We know what it is. Okay, it's not up for anybody's interpretations. Now, Wing Chun is an art that require the body and leg pairing because you need to fight really close. It's called sticking body short strike. Okay. So because it is a sticking body short strike, you need to train the leg and body pairing, especially your torso stability or your core stability. If you do not have your core stability, you do not have your breathing, you don't have the engine. If we use the car as an analogy, you want to develop a car, you need to have the engine part, the combustion systems, the transmissions. You need to take care of that before your shock absorber and your wheel. So that's why in the Shaolin Short Strike Classic, it said that why is it footwork, why is the body work and footwork combination is much more important than arm technique. So it is about handling the extend and contracting. That's your body. Okay, so he said it is because the handling of extending, contracting, pretending, and committing of the entire physical body is the first priority in the combat. So it means that you need your core stability and your breathing, like your car. You need your combustion system and your transmission developed. Otherwise, you cannot handle it. This is the bottom line. Over here, in the Shaolin Short Strike Classic, it said the transportations of force or jing is based on breathing. The handling of breathing depends on the lower abdomen. If the breathing is not the lower abdomen type, but the chest type, the handling of leg and footwork will not be solid. How will this defeat the opponent? Breathing is strength, the root of martial arts. It tells you really clearly. So from the Ermei to Shaolin, all detail is there since 1850. No interpretations. And like this one, it tells you about the breathing. Like this one, it tells you the body work, footwork combinations, which is your core. So it go back to this. Core stability enable athletes to control their body position, generate optimum power, and transfer force along the kinetic change. Core stability is often needed in rotational movement, which is required in almost every sport. Diaphragmatic breathing, the foundations of core stability. So the ancient ancestors have laid down the entire thing. And if you look at this, it's saying that when you fight, you must always have your stomach filled with your breathing. When you fight, you must not breathe with your chest. If you train this way, your body will solid like the iron tire, like the automobile tire. So what does it mean? Well, this breathing at the lower abs mean two things, right? In today's language. Number one, you have to have the deep breathing to support your oxygen need. The second thing, it means bracing. So that's why I say you constantly have to breathe deep and you constantly have to have the bracings of your lower abs. Well, what is a bracing for? Again, it got back to this. Your core stability, your torso stability. So we know what the ancients is. It never is this kind of stuff. It never is this kind of stuff. Like you put a triangle, you're breathing stuck in the chest. It never be like that. With your straight spine or your lifting annals or whatever, your mind power, it is not that. Okay, but today people promote in television, in movie, all this kind of stuff, which is not what the ancestor is talking about. And that's why this is a disaster. Now, again, look at all this thing. Does it have any control of the torso? Any training of the core stability or just moving arm? Which is the classic, the Shaolin, like the Shaolin short strike classic is telling you that, hey man, you better have your torso, in today's language, your torso, your core stability, and your breathing, but this is training hand techniques. So with this, if one do not make the corrections, it is a disaster. And it has been there for past 130 years, this disaster. It doesn't solve the problem. So, of course, in today's, based on science, we can scientifically proven the proper stance like this, the proper stance according to the ancient, as I just described, will have a natural deep lower abs breathing, 360-degree breathing, meaning the breathing expanding, contracting of the lower abs is 360-degree, large amplitude breathing, intra-abdominal pressure, core stability, lower breathing rate, heart rate, aerobic based training, like I explained in other video before. And yet this type of thing can do that. Scientifically proven that is the case. So this type of stuff, scientifically, we know that it cannot deliver. Historically, we know that it is not what the ancestor of Wing Chun is teaching. This thing is not Wing Chun. Period. If you want to base on historical evidence. Now, of course, like this one, we can track in the real time. This is a proper one. Look at the breathing. The minute I switch into the improper one, what everybody having their 5 cents today, the entire thing doesn't work. Your lower abs handling, your core handling, your breathing handling doesn't work. Scientific is that. It's not interpretation. It's not that because I can beat you or I'm more have more power to bully you than I know the truth. No, scientifically it's already there. And let me move this way. It's too much sun there. So if you are trained like me in the ancient and in the science, this is how it is trained. Get the proper breathing and core handling and so forth. This is the beginning of 修炼套. So the idea is you need to take care of your lower abs breathing and your core stability and torso stability. Make sure it is proper before you move, and every move have to synchronize with that, your deep breathing and so forth. Now, if you train like me, well, you can get it. However, how many millions or 100,000s of Wing Chuners out there today? I got a teacher who trained me, who pointing out this and that. How many of our friends, our brother and sister will be able to have it? And because of that, we need to have good solutions. A solution that everybody can use it even today. Like for example, in this standing, how is the feeling of the standing? How is the feeling, the feel, the experience of the breathing? How is the experience of the core handling? Because we know that core handling is a function of breathing. Until you can experience what it is, one really don't know what it is. If the teacher never experienced that, there's no way they can teach the students. So that's why you can get into today's like that. Like this kind of thing. Like this kind of, like you put in a movie or you put in the TV like this. With that, we know that as soon as if the teacher do not know, have no experience, what is the proper handling of the low abs breathing and the core to the very fundamental basic, one will not be able to teach, one not be able to train, will not be able to get any result. So I was thinking, what is the better result? And of course, let me share with you. The number one thing I really don't like is to teach. Because teaching means a lot of responsibility, commitment, and every day you have to bug your student, hey, do this properly, do that properly, checking this, checking that. And I hate to teach. I like to do research, but I don't like to teach. The second thing, I am not interested to be a grandmaster, to start a new lineage. The third thing is, I'm not interested to make your money, but I'm interested to give you all the solution, to give you the ammunitions so that you be able to take off, to fly, and to be able to play with today's sports martial arts and be able to grow, because there's a lot of talented you guys. So after experiment for so many months and looking around, there's a way to let everybody be able to experience at least the very minimum of what I experience here. Without you have to see me, without you have to learn from me, without you have to pay me money to learn, without you even have to know me. So what is that? That is using the saddles tool. Yes, using the saddles tools. Because today's saddles tools, as you say, that saddles tool designed with ergonomic seat to encourage better posture and save your back and neck. Much more comfortable and relaxed than normal stool chair. The saddle tool is ergonomic. It's designed to encourage one be able to handle the externally trained, the bone, the muscle, and the sinews, or in other words, the handling of the core. So as soon as you sit on a chair which is designed that way, automatically you will be able to have a very good handling of your posture, your back, your neck, your spine in the ballpark. You will not go somewhere else because this is limited in this ballpark. So externally, this is training your muscle, bone, and your sinews. Internally, the riding seat can help increase the depth of breathing, take in more oxygen, and keep a clear head that doesn't get tired easy. So the saddle tool also, due to the posture, help one to engage into the deep breathing. So with this chair, with this stool, as soon as one sit in there and one choose one's most comfortable position in there, one right away will experience the basic experience as what I do here in handling of the core and the breathing. As we say that over here, the most important thing is to handling your body, your torso, your trunk, your breathing, not your hand and all those kind of stuff, leg, those kind of stuff. Now, with the stool, you do that. And that be able for one to not monkey around with the legs or the knee clamping or all those crazy stuff, or lifting anals, tilting your tailbone or all those stuff. No, you want to sit on this tool. You want to sit and then experience the most natural deep breathing stability of your body. So that is the notions that you can use these tools as a standard reference here on for all Wing Chun. Disregard of what lineage or whoever teach it, as soon as one use this tool, one will be able to experience the proper breathing and proper body handling. before one going to do something else, which is a completely opposite of what in the past 130 years. In the past 130 years, they'll teach you, oh, you need to clamp your knee. Your leg have to be triangle shape. Some say, well, your leg have to be parallel shape. And then some say you have to tilting your tailbone. Some say that you have to straighten your spine. Some say that you have to use your mind power. Well, it never tell you. You need to be able to handle this. And then leave alone your body so that it is naturally handled. With your deep breathing is built in there. So if you look at this, using the saddles tool, you see the alignment. You want to talk about spine. You want to talk about the weight distributions. It is there. It is all there. Without, my interpretation is clamping the knee. My interpretation is not clamping the knee. My interpretation is to tilting the tailbone. My interpretation is to straighten the spine. Well, man, who the world know what it is? You can tell a guy, hey, straighten your tailbone. What does that mean? Or straighten your spine. What does that mean? Clamping your knee with putting a can between your knee and clamping it. What do you mean? Well, you need to get rid of all those things. Go scientific. Once you sit in the saddle tool, because it is ergonomically designed, it's a technology. You sit down there, it gets to your proper human posture, human handling of your back and your neck, your back and your neck, meaning your spine. And then your breathing going deeper. Increase the depth of your breath. So one shot, you just go sit on it for 1 minute, you right away will be able to experience what it is on your torso and your deep breathing basic. And you use that experience to develop your training. Well, those who is be able to afford to buy a saddle chair, well, go to Amazon, buy a good one which have a very good review. It's about $100. You sit on that. You train, say you want to train 小念頭 before, or you want to train 站桩 or whatever, you sit on that chair, choose your best positions where you can breathe deep, your body is natural, your entire body is loose, you sit on there. Say 1 minute, 2 minutes. Enjoy that, feel that, sense that. And after you sense that, you go practice your 小念頭, your set or whatever. Any minutes, whatever you practice is violating or against what is your experience in the saddle tool, you know it is screwed up. You know you don't want to follow that. You know you need to correct that because this is your standard reference. No longer your interpretation. This grandmaster say what, that grandmaster say what. For past 130 years, there's no standard, but all talk. Now we use only a few minutes. Sit in the saddle stool. You feel that, you experience it. And that's it. For school, Wing Chun school, get a good saddle stool. Let all the students sit on it so they know exactly what it feels. And this is what you want. You take care of the core, the torso, the breathing first. And then you adjust your leg in static or dynamic to fulfill that. So it's like you build your engine and then you can align your wheel, your shock absorber, so that your car run good. Instead of like today, 130 years, it is always your structure, your angle here, your angle there. It's like you're keeping one to tilting your wheel, or you want to make your shock absorber harder, but it have nothing to do with your combustion systems and your transmissions. So now you want to completely go the proper direction. And that's why after I thought about it, after I test about it, after I buy many chairs, including the saddles tool, I finally found out, say, okay, let's everybody use the saddles tool. That way, everybody will have the same art. It is disregard of this is in mainland China or is in Europe or is in America or is in South America or is in Africa or is in Middle East. The standard is a good, proper design saddle stool. When one sit on that, one know that that is the very basic of Wing Chun way of handling the breathing and the torso or the core. Even one might not know anything yet. Even one might be the first day beginner in the Wing Chun school. You let him sit down that here on, you have to know this experience, okay? Do not violate this. And of course, every day when you are not sure, you can go to the saddles tool and sit down there and experience and study your body and say, hey, you know, how does it feel? If I move this way, how does it feel? How does it feel? How is my breathing? So that is the standard. And with this standard, overnight, you can change the entire Wing Chun. Okay, now, so like for example, after I get familiar with my sitting the stool like this, I make adjustments, the best, most comfortable, and then make sure that, oh yeah, my torso is stable this way, my breathing, if my torso here is stable, my breathing is deeper and so forth. Well, I can practice my 小念頭. I can practice my 小念頭. And you know that if you practice it this way, your breathing and your torso handling and your spine handling is automatically proper. Because it is in the ballpark of the agronomy design of the saddle tool to help you. Now, if you have the 360, you can check on your breathing. You can check on the handling of your breathing. And this is the saddle tool. Look at this tool here. This is the stool I'm sitting on. And I can experiment with my core and my breathing. As you see here, this is from -60s to this negative 60. This is to about negative 80. And this is a positive 90. So in the real time, when I breathe in, breathe out, you look at my body, this expanding. Look closely. So it is like this one. So it's the same time scale. This is 100. This for 120. Just now is the positive 60, positive 80 to negative 80 is the 160 in the full amplitude. This is 120. And you look at this, this is the improper one. This is within 50. 50. And you see the frequency is very low, very high compared with this, which is the breathing repeatable. And this is with your intra-abdominal pressures amplitude change. This is say from 10 to, well, 110. So it's a 120 change. And this is about 90. This is going down to around 40, 50. So you know that with the Saddles 2 and the 360, whether you got the state of the Xing Qi to Dantian to handle your torso or not, you know whether you get it or not. And of course, after you get that, after you get this part done, then you can adjust your leg. You can adjust to the proper, the base handling of your leg so that the entire body is loose and you still have the core stability and the breathing. That's where you get it. So it is that simple. You have a standard, everybody can have it. It's no longer my interpretations. No longer, this is my lineage stuff, my interpretations. But the entire thing losing the core stability and the breathing training at all. So those who is really interested in the further handling, like in the 2C state, want to get standing up and so forth, be able to get it, the process of development in my book, the Wing Chun Matrix. Those who is interested in handling their heart rate can get it from the Wing Chun Inception if they need it. And so the 3 books I have, the Wing Chun Inception, Wing Chun Matrix, and thus Restricting Wing Chun, all those Shaolin stuff, this stuff, all is in the Wing Chun, in the Restricting Wing Chun book. So the key is you want to achieve this, the easiest way is to use this chair. So this is your horse stance. This is your proper horse stance. And we use the technology to help us to stand properly, to have a proper horse stance so that we can breathe properly, we can handle the core properly. So you just need to get a saddle stool. If you don't have money, you can go to the dentist. Just borrow the saddle stool of the dentist and you sit there for a while. You can test out the breathing and then you can do, say, your play with your Xiu Lim Tao. You can feel that. If you can afford, just buy a saddle to put at home. That way it helps you to develop because you have a standard rules there to check yourself. Do you do it properly or not? And you can even use the saddle stool for your sitting meditations. And of course, when you're good at the saddle stool, you want to stand up to adjust your leg. And that become what? Become 站桩. And every school, if they have one of this, all teacher will overnight know what is a proper deep breathing and the proper core handling. So here on, no more 心气to 丹田 according my secret teaching or your secret teaching. Everybody know, the entire world know what is 心气 to 丹田 mean. What is core stability mean? Just sitting in the stool. So this is what I like to share with you. We are in America. We go in a high-tech way. We use technology to buy time. Imagine how difficult it is if you get a guy to teach you, a sifu to teach you how to stand properly so you can breathe deep, and then your core handling and so forth. Compare with sending you to sit on the saddle stool and adjust yourself so that you feel the most comfortable and the deepest breathing you can get. Sit there for 1 minute, 5 minutes to experience your body. Compare with you got sifu like my time. Too high, too low. Can you breathe? Can you breathe in there? Oh, no, sifu, I don't know why. Something stuck at my leg. I cannot breathe. Right now, you got technology. You sit on the thing. You say, okay, now you know? Yes, you know. If you don't know, sit more. And if you are not familiar, sit more. So this is a high-tech world. It's a time to get the fundamental of Wing Chun developed with standard, with quality, repeatable, and everybody can do it. Only with this foundation, we can talk about the health part or the fighting part as in my yesterday's video. Until you have this, you are just living in your in your mind because you don't know what it is. You don't know what I'm talking about. And so this is what I like to share with you. And again, I'm not interested to be grandmaster, to teach anybody or making your money. Just get a stool and then experiment with it. Get your best out from it. That is the tools to help you. I have no interest to monopolize in anybody's lineage. I hope that this tool can help every lineage to do even better, every Wing Chun school to do even better.